It was 2:47 a.m., and the hotel felt wrong, not empty. Just quiet in a way that didn't feel natural, like the silence was hiding something. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until you start hearing things that aren't there. I had been driving for hours, miles of empty road, dark sky, and nothing but exhaustion crawling through my body. So when I saw the hotel sign flickering in the distance, I didn't think twice. I just needed a room, a bed, a few hours of sleep, that's all. The parking lot was almost empty. Only 3 cars, all parked far apart. Like even they didn't want to be near each other. The building itself looked old, not abandoned, but close. Dim lights, faded paint, windows that reflected nothing but darkness. I stepped inside, and immediately, the air changed. Cold, not normal cold, not air conditioning. This was different, like stepping into a place that had forgotten what warmth felt like. The lobby was quiet. No music. No TV. No movement. Just a single man behind the desk, standing completely still, watching. He didn't smile, didn't greet, just stared, like he had been waiting for a room. That's all I said. My voice sounded strange, like it didn't belong there. He didn't respond right away, just slowly reached down and pulled out a key, not a card, a key, old metal, heavy. He placed it on the counter. No words, just that. I glanced down, room number scratched into the tag, 237. Something about it felt off, but I was too tired to care. I grabbed the key and turned. The hallway stretched out ahead of me. Long, too long. The lights flickered slightly, casting shadows that didn't quite match the walls. Each step echoed louder than it should, like the hallway was listening. Room numbers passed slowly. Tabun Hadrian, 209. Tabun Hadrin Abain. Then finally, 237. The door stood at the very end, separated, like it didn't belong with the others. The light above it flickered. On, off, on. I stopped for just a second, a strange feeling settling in my chest. Not fear, not yet, just hesitation, like something inside me was saying, "Don't open that door," but I ignored it, because exhaustion always wins. I slid the key into the lock. It clicked. Loud, too loud. And as I pushed the door open, the smell hit me first. Damp, old, like the room hadn't been used in years. The lights inside were already on dim, yellow flickering slightly. The bed was made perfectly, too perfectly. Not a single wrinkle. The curtains were closed, tight, no light from outside. Just that same heavy silence. I stepped inside, and the moment I did, the door behind me slowly creaked shut. On its own, I froze, hand still on the handle, listening, waiting, nothing, just silence again. I let out a slow breath, told myself it was nothing. Old building, loose hinges, that's all. But deep down, something felt wrong. Very wrong. And I hadn't even been in the room for a full minute. I stood there, just inside the room, listening. The silence wasn't normal. It wasn't the kind of silence you get when a place is empty. This felt occupied, like something was there, just not making a sound. I slowly walked further in. Each step felt heavier than the last. The carpet was soft, but my footsteps still echoed. That shouldn't happen, not on carpet. I glanced around. The room looked normal. At first, a bed, a chair in the corner, a small desk, a mirror on the wall. But something about the mirror felt wrong. I couldn't explain it. It just didn't look right. Like it was slightly darker than the rest of the room. Like it wasn't reflecting light properly. I looked away, telling myself I was just tired, just overthinking. I dropped my bag near the bed and sat down. The mattress sank slowly under my weight. Too slowly, like something underneath it shifted. Before settling, I froze, listening again. Nothing, just that same heavy silence. Then, a sound, soft, almost too quiet to notice, from the bathroom. Drip, drip, drip. I turned my head slowly. The bathroom door was slightly open, just enough to see darkness inside. The sound continued, steady, unnatural. I stood up, heart beating faster now. Each step toward the bathroom felt wrong, like I was getting closer to something I shouldn't see. The door creaked as I pushed it open. The light inside flickered on. The sink was dry. No water running, no dripping, nothing. But the sound didn't stop. Drip, drip, drip. I swallowed hard. The noise wasn't coming from the sink. It was behind me. I turned around quickly. Nothing. Just the room, the bed, the chair, the mirror. I stepped back slowly, eyes scanning every corner, trying to find something. Anything. That made sense. Then I noticed it. The mirror. I was standing in front of it. But something was off. My reflection wasn't moving the same way, just slightly delayed, barely noticeable. But enough. I lifted my hand slowly. My reflection followed. A second too late. My chest tightened. This wasn't exhaustion. This wasn't normal. I stepped closer, closer to the mirror, trying to understand, trying to prove to myself that I was imagining things. But then, the reflection stopped moving. I didn't. I took another step forward. But the version of me in the mirror just stood there, staring, not blinking, not breathing, just watching. Cold wave rushed through my body. I stumbled back, but the reflection didn't move. It stayed there, perfectly still. And then, slowly, it smiled. Not like me, wider, too wide, stretching across its face in a way that shouldn't be possible. I felt my legs weaken, my heart racing out of control. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. But it was happening right in front of me. Then, the lights flickered once, twice, and for a split second. The reflection was gone, just darkness, total black. Then the lights came back on, and everything looked normal again. My reflection, moving exactly as I moved. No delay, no smile, nothing. I stood there, breathing heavily, trying to make sense of it, trying to convince myself it didn't just happen, but deep down, I knew something in this room wasn't right, and whatever it was watching me. I stepped back from the mirror, trying to slow my breathing, trying to think. There had to be an explanation, exhaustion, hallucination, something, anything that made sense. But deep down, I knew what I saw, and that was the problem, because it wasn't just strange, it was wrong. I turned away from the mirror, deciding not to look at it again, at least for now. I grabbed my phone from the bed. No signal, of course. I walked toward the window, pulled the curtain slightly aside. Nothing outside, no lights, no cars. Just darkness, complete darkness. That didn't make sense. There were cars in the parking lot. There should have been street lights. Something, but there was nothing. Like the world outside had been erased. I quickly shut the curtain, a strange feeling creeping up my spine. Like the room wasn't just a room anymore. Like it was separate, cut off, trapped. I stepped back, and that's when I heard it, a soft sound. From the corner of the room, the chair. It moved, just a little, barely an inch, but enough. I froze, eyes locked on it, waiting, hoping I imagined it. But then, it moved again, slowly, turning slightly. Toward me, I couldn't breathe. My body refused to move. I just stood there, watching it, as it came to a stop, facing directly at me now, like someone had just pulled it into position. But there was no one there, nothing, just that chair and the silence. Then, a whisper. Faint, right next to my ear, not from across the room, not from the chair, from right behind me. So close. I could feel it, a cold breath. I spun around instantly. Nothing, empty space. But the feeling stayed, that something had been there, right there, just inches away. I backed up quickly, almost tripping over the bed, my eyes darting around the room. Every shadow felt alive now, every corner hiding something. Then suddenly, the TV turned on. Loud, static filled the room. I jumped, heart racing. The screen flickered wildly, black and white noise. No channel, no signal, just static. But then, the static began to change. Shapes started forming. Dark outlines, moving, slowly becoming clearer. And then, a face, distorted, stretched, eyes too dark, too deep, staring directly at me. I couldn't move, couldn't look away. It didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. And then, it spoke. Not with sound, but I heard it, inside my head. A voice that wasn't mine. Low, whispering. "You shouldn't have come here." I grabbed the remote, hands shaking, and smashed the power button. The TV went black. Silence again. But it wasn't the same silence anymore. This one felt closer, like whatever was in this room had just made itself known. I stepped back slowly toward the door. I needed to leave. Now. This wasn't a normal place. This wasn't just a creepy hotel. This was something else. Something that didn't want me here. I reached for the handle, turned it nothing. It didn't move. I tried again. Harder. Still nothing. The door was locked. From the inside. But I hadn't locked it. I knew I hadn't. Panic started rising. Fast. I pulled harder, shaking the handle, trying to force it open. But it wouldn't budge. And then, behind me, the TV turned on again. By itself, I slowly turned my head, and what I saw made my blood run cold, because this time, it wasn't just the face. Now, it was showing the room. My room. Room 237. From inside. But from a different angle. Like someone else was standing behind me, watching. I didn't move. I couldn't. My eyes were locked on the TV screen, watching something that shouldn't exist. It was the same room, same bed, same chair, same mirror. But the angle, it was wrong. Too high, like it was being watched from the corner of the ceiling. Slowly, the image on the screen shifted. The camera, if it even was a camera, began to move. Gliding. Silent. Closer. Toward me. My chest tightened, because I knew what I was about to see. Or rather, what was about to see me. The screen flickered once. Twice. And then, there I was, standing near the door. frozen exactly how I was in that moment, but something else was there too, behind me. At first, it was just a shadow, tall, unnaturally tall, its shape bending slightly, like it didn't fully belong in this world. It stood right behind me, so close that if I took a step back, I would touch it. My heart started pounding so loud, I could hear it in my ears. I didn't want to turn around. Every instinct screamed not to, but I couldn't stop myself. Slowly, I began to move, turning my head, just slightly. The air behind me felt colder, heavier, like something was standing there, breathing, waiting. I turned. Nothing. Empty space. Just the room. Just silence. But the TV still showed it, still standing there right behind me. I stumbled forward, away from the door, away from that spot, my breathing sharp and uneven. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. But it was happening right now. The screen began to distort again, the image twisting, stretching, breaking apart, and then it changed. Now it wasn't showing the room anymore. It was showing a hallway, long, dark, endless. The same hallway I walked through earlier, but something was different. The doors, they were all open, every single one. And inside each room, there was darkness, not shadows, not empty space, just black, like the rooms didn't exist, like they were just openings into nothing. The camera moved slowly down the hallway, passing each door, until it reached the end. Room 237. The door was open, wide, waiting. The camera stopped. For a moment. Nothing happened. Then, something moved inside. Not clearly, not fully, just a shape, shifting in the darkness, watching. The TV suddenly went black. Complete silence filled the room again. And then, a knock, 3 times. Slow, heavy. From the other side of the door, I froze. My blood turned cold. No one should be there. No one. Another knock, louder this time. The door handle rattled slightly, like something was trying to get in. Or worse, trying to check if it could. I backed away slowly, every step careful, every breath shallow. Then, a voice from the other side. Low, faint, almost familiar, not loud enough to understand, but enough to feel. And then it stopped. No more knocking. No more movement. Just silence again. I stood there for what felt like forever, not moving, not thinking, just waiting. Then, suddenly, my phone buzzed in my hand. I looked down. No signal. Still nothing. But there was a notification. A message. Unknown sender. My hands trembled as I opened it. Only 3 words. Open the door. My hands froze. The phone screen still glowing in the dark. Those 3 words burning into my eyes. Open the door. I didn't breathe, didn't move. Just stared at it. No signal, no connection. So how did the message come through? Another vibration. Same sender. Another message. I'm still outside. A cold wave ran through my body. My grip tightened around the phone. Slowly, carefully, I looked toward the door. Nothing, no shadow underneath, no movement, just silence. But it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt patient, like something was standing there, waiting for me to make a mistake. Then, another knock, this time softer, gentler, almost polite. 3 slow taps. I stepped back, shaking my head, whispering to myself, no, this wasn't real. This couldn't be happening. But deep down, I knew it was, because the feeling in that room, it wasn't fear anymore. It was something worse. It was recognition, like whatever was outside that door knew me. Another vibration. I looked down again. A third message. You already saw me. My chest tightened, my mind racing. Saw? When? Where? Then. The mirror. My eyes slowly shifted toward it. I didn't want to look. But something inside me forced me to, pulled my attention toward it. And when I finally looked, my reflection was already staring back, waiting. But it wasn't normal. This time, it moved first, before I even did. Its head tilted slightly, studying me, like I was the reflection, and it was real. My breath caught in my throat. I tried to step back, but it stepped forward, closer to the glass. Closer to me. Its smile returned, wider, more unnatural than before. And then, it raised its hand, not matching mine, not copying me. It was moving on its own. Slowly, it pressed its palm against the inside of the mirror, and that's when I heard it. A soft, dull thud, like something had just touched the glass. From the other side, my heart dropped, because that meant one thing. The mirror wasn't showing a reflection. It was showing something behind it, something trapped, or worse, something trying to get out. Another knock from the door, louder now, more aggressive. The handle shook violently. The wood creaked. Whatever was outside wasn't waiting anymore. It was trying to come in, and whatever was in the mirror was trying to come out. I was stuck between them. My breathing became frantic, my thoughts collapsing. There was no logic anymore, no explanation, just one instinct. Get out, now. I rushed toward the window, pulled the curtain back hard, and froze. There was no outside, no parking lot, no cars, no lights, just darkness, endless, like the room wasn't in the hotel anymore, like it wasn't anywhere. The knocking behind me turned into pounding, loud, violent. The door frame shaking with each hit, cracks forming in the wood. I turned back, and the mirror was different now. The surface was rippling, like water, and the figure inside was pushing through, its face pressing against the glass, stretching, distorting, trying to break free. I stumbled back, my body hitting the wall. Nowhere to go. Nowhere safe. The pounding stopped. Suddenly silence. Complete silence. Then, a slow, clicking sound. The door unlocking. By itself. The handle turned. Slowly, carefully. Like whatever was outside knew it didn't need force anymore. The door creaked open, darkness spilling into the room, and from within it, a shape, tall, still, watching, the same shape from the TV, from the hallway, from behind me, now standing in front of me, real, closer than ever. I couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't even breathe, because at that moment, I realized something worse than everything that had happened so far. The thing in the mirror, the thing at the door. They weren't separate. They were the same. And I wasn't trapped with them. They were trapping me. The door stood open, darkness beyond it, thick, heavy, alive. And in that darkness, that shape, tall, still, watching me. I couldn't move. My body felt frozen in place, like the room itself was holding me there. The air grew colder, colder than before. So cold, it started to hurt. Then, the thing stepped forward. Slowly, one step, then another. Its movements were wrong, not human, too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't walking. It was gliding, and as it moved closer, the light in the room began to fade, not flicker, not dim, fade, like something was draining it, piece by piece, until all that remained was a dull glow, just enough to see it. Its shape became clearer. Tall, thin, limbs slightly too long, its head tilted at an unnatural angle, and its face. There was no face, just darkness, a void where something should have been, but I could feel it looking at me, studying me, learning me, behind me. A sound. The mirror. It wasn't trapping me. It was replacing me. Behind me. A loud crack. The mirror shattered. Glass exploding outward. I flinched, but didn't turn, because I already knew something was now in the room. Something that looked like me. The thing in front of me tilted its head again, and then it reached out, its hand, or whatever it was. Long, thin, almost touching my face. I tried to move, tried to step back, but I couldn't, because at that moment, I realized something even worse. I wasn't frozen. I was already gone. The moment I opened that door, something changed. Something took hold. And now, it was finishing the process. The thing's hand touched my face, cold, empty, and everything went black. Silence. Then, light, soft, warm. I blinked, slowly, confused, disoriented. I was standing in the lobby. The same hotel, the same desk, the same man behind it. Everything looked normal, felt normal, like nothing had happened, like I had just arrived. The man looked at me, calm, expressionless, like before. I opened my mouth, not trying to speak, trying to explain, but no words came out because something felt wrong. Not around me, inside me. The man slowly reached down and placed a key on the counter. I looked at it. My heart sank. 10:37. My hand moved without me telling it to. I picked up the key, turned, and walked toward the hallway, step by step, like I had done this before, like I was doing it again, and again, and again. Behind me, the door to the hotel opened. I didn't turn, but I heard it. Another person walking in, another tired traveler, another voice asking for a room. The man didn't respond. He just reached down and pulled out a key. And somewhere, deep inside room 237, something was waiting, not to scare, not to haunt, but to replace.